Today we are going to learn about new chapter, that is parallel lines and transversal. First, let's see what are parallel lines. Here you can see these two lines. If I extend these both lines, they will never intersect each other. Such lines are called as parallel lines. Let's define the lines in the same plane which do not intersect each other are called parallel lines. For example, lines in your notebook. You can see your notebooks. There are lines which are parallel to each other. There are lines like this, right? They will never intersect each other. So that type of lines are said to be parallel lines. Then here is a transversal. You can see this figure. Here L and M are parallel line, and this line is said to be a transversal. The line which intersects two parallel lines at a distant point is said to be a transversal. If a line intersects given two lines in two distinct points, then that line is called as transversal. Here N line is said to be a transversal. Now, let's see angle made by the transversal. Now, this line, this is a transversal, and line L and line M are both parallel lines. Total number of angles formed are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Total 8 angles are formed by a transversal. Now, further we will study corresponding angles, interior angles, alternate angles. Alternate angle is divided into two parts, that is interior alternate angles and exterior alternate angles. Now let's see in deep corresponding angles. Now we will see what are corresponding angles. Now here corresponding angle, how I will take corresponding angles. Suppose I am taking angle 1. Then I will skip the next angle and I will take the next angle, that is 5. 1 is the corresponding pair of 5. Same. Now suppose if I am taking this angle 3. Now I will skip this number, this angle, and I will take next angle, that is angle 3 and angle 7. Let's do on this side. Angle 2, if I am taking angle 2, then I will skip this 4 and I will take the next angle, that is 6. And suppose I have take angle 4, then I will skip this 6 angle and I will take direct angle 8. So there are 4 pairs of corresponding angles. How to find corresponding angle? You will simply skip the angle between two pairs, that is angle 1 and angle 5. 3 is in between 1 and 5, so I will simply skip that angle and I will take 1 and 5 as a corresponding angle. Similarly, if I take 3, I will skip this 5 and I will take 7 as a corresponding angle. Again 2, I will skip this 4 and I will take 6. 2 and 6 are corresponding angles. Same, if I am taking 4 and then I will skip this 6 and I will take 8. So there are total 4 corresponding angles. Now we will see interior angles. Interior means inside. Inside the two parallel lines, means these angles 3, 4, 5, 6 are said to be interior angles. So angle 3 and angle 5 are interior angle, okay, and angle 4 and angle 6, they are interior angles. Alternate angles. Now what is alternate angles? You can see the shape. This is a Z. This is a converse of Z. This is N. This type of and now this angle and this angle will set to be a alternate angle. Here also this angle and this angle will be said to be alternate angle. Here also this angle and this angle will said to be alternate angles. Now let's see it in the figure. So can you see here Z-type structure is formed? Yes. So angle this and angle this, that is angle 3 and angle 6. Both have alternate angles. Now here you can see converse of Z, right? That means angle 4 and angle 5. Correct? Now these both are inside the parallel lines. So these both will said to be interior alternate angles. Okay, now let's see what is meant by exterior alternate angles. Here you can see this part and here this part. Suppose if I join these both parts, you will get a structure like Z. Okay, so angle 1 and angle 8, and here angle 2 and here angle 7. These both are outside the parallel lines, so we will call it exterior alternate angles. So always remember, in alternate angles this type of structure should be formed. Then and only then you can apply these alternate angles. Otherwise you cannot apply alternate angles. Okay.
Now we will see properties of angles formed by two parallel lines and a transversal. Let's do one activity given in your textbook. Draw two parallel lines and a transversal on a paper. Draw a line segment by using scale and draw a parallel line by using a set square, as it is shown in the video. Let's name it. Now 8 angles are formed and let's name it as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. Now using a trace paper, trace the copy of this figure on the another blank sheet. This we got on the trace paper. Okay. Now color this part and this part by orange and name it as first part and second part. Now cut both the parts in two different angles. Have you noticed that part 1 and part 2 have formed a linear pair? Now place this first part here and we will see to which angle it coincides, and same we will do it for second. Let's observe. Let's note down all the angles. Okay. Now first part D no, B yes, angle B coincide first part. Angle D, then angle E is no, angle F yes, angle G no, angle H yes. Okay, let's see second part. A, yes. B, no. Again C, yes. D, no. E, yes. Again last is G. Okay, have you noticed? Now observe your readings now. Now tell which angle coincide with part 1. Angle B, angle D, angle F and angle H coincide with part 1. Which? Since in part 1 coinciding angles are angle B, D, F and G, I can also say that all these angles are congruent to each other. That is, angle B is congruent to angle D, is congruent to angle F and is congruent to angle H. Similarly, we will do it for second part. Now, you can see second part coinciding angles A, C, E and G. All these angles are congruent to each other. Now let's find the pair of corresponding angles. Here you can see this angle A is congruent to angle E, and we are skipping one angle in the between A and E. That means A and E are corresponding angles. Here B and F will be corresponding angles. Third, D and H will be corresponding angle, as I am skipping this angle E in between D and H. Therefore D and H will be corresponding angles and they will be congruent. Here C and G will be congruent. Here I am skipping this F angle. So C and G will be corresponding angles. Therefore the angles in a pair of corresponding angles are congruent. Now let's see pair of interior alternate angles. Pair of interior alternate angles. What is meant by alternate angles? First, alternate angle is a figure or the angles which draw a shape of Z. That can be, see here Z is formed. Again here Z is formed. Okay, so angle D and angle F are interior alternate angles. Can you see here? Angle D and F are interior alternate angles, and angle C and angle E, okay, C and angle E are interior alternate angles. Okay, then and the pair of interior alternate angles are also congruent. Now let's see pair of exterior alternate angles. Angle A and angle G are exterior alternate angles. Angle B and angle H are exterior alternate angles. Also the pair of exterior alternate angles are also congruent. Now, as we know, part 1 and part 2 are in a linear pair. So, I can say that part 1 plus part 2 is equals to 180 degree. Now, since angle D coincides with part 1 and angle E coincide with part 2, therefore I can say angle D plus angle E is equals to 180 and angle C plus angle F is equals to 180 degree. As both are coming 180 degree, so I can call it complementary angles. But these are also interior angles. So we can say that angles in a pair of interior angles are supplementary. Now remember these points which we found out in our activity. The angles in a pair of corresponding angles are congruent. The pair of interior alternate angles are congruent. Also the pair of exterior angles are congruent. The angles in a pair of interior angles are supplementary. That means interior angles are 180 degree. Supplementary means measure of angle is 180 degree. Now see in this figure, line M and line M is parallel, both are parallel to each other, and line N is a transversal. When two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal, how many angles are formed? Yes, 8 angles. Let us denote these angles by numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now think and say, if measure of one of these 8 angles is given, can we find the measure of the remaining 7 angles? Here you can see first angle is given, that is 115 degree. Yes, you can find out all 7 angles if any one of the angle is given. Okay, now let's see how to find the remaining 7 angles. Now here you can see one example. In the figure, measure of angle 2 means this part is given, that is 65 degree. Find the measure of the remaining 7 angles. Now let's first find first angle. Okay, this angle. Solution: measure of angle 2 is equals to 65 degree, which is given to us. As I know, angle 1 and angle 2 are the angles in a linear pair. Can you see? They both are in a linear pair. Therefore, and I know what? That linear pairs, linear angles are always supplementary angles. Supplementary means 180 degree. Therefore, if I add this first angle and second angle, I will get 180 degree. Therefore, angle 1 plus angle 2 is equals to 180 degree. Now, substituting measure of angle 2, which is 65 degree, I will get angle 1 plus 65 degree is equals to 180 degree. Now, I will keep angle 1 here only, and I will shift this plus 65 on that side of equal, and I will get minus 65. This is 180 minus 65. Answer is 115 degree. Therefore, measure of angle 1 is equals to 115. Now, angle 2 is congruent to angle 4. Reason is vertically opposite angles. They are vertically opposite to each other. Therefore, they are congruent. That means measurement of angle 2 will be equal to measurement of angle 4. Okay. Since measurement of angle 2 is 65, therefore measurement of angle 4 will also be 64. Here I got this first angle, second angle and fourth angle. Now we have angle 2 65 degree, angle 115 degree, angle 4 equals to 65 degree. Similarly, can I say angle 1 is congruent to angle 3? Again, vertically opposite angles are there. Therefore, angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Reason will be vertically opposite angles. Therefore, measure of angle 3 is equals to measure of angle 1, which is equals to 115. Okay. When two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal, we know that the corresponding angles formed are congruent. Also, the interior alternate angles are congruent. You can see here angle 1 and angle 5. Angle 1 and angle 5. We are skipping this fourth angle in between 1 and 5. Therefore, I can say angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles, and we know that corresponding angles are always congruent. Okay, so see here angle 1 and angle 5, angle 4 and angle 8, angle 4 and angle 8, they are also corresponding angles. Here 2 and 6 are corresponding angles, and 3 and 7 are corresponding angles, pair of corresponding angles. And we also know that these corresponding pairs are also congruent. Therefore angle 1 is congruent to angle 5. Therefore the measurement of 1, which is equals to 115, the angle 5 value will also be 115. Okay, here you can see angle 1 is congruent to angle 5, therefore measure of angle 5 is 115. Now here you can see, let's check other angles. Therefore we have angle 4 is congruent to angle 8, therefore measure of angle 8 is 65 degree, as we have measure of angle 4 is equals to 65 degree, and 4 and 8 are congruent, therefore I can say measure of angle 8 is also 65 degree. Same for angle 2 is congruent to angle 6. What was angle 2? It was 65 degree, so angle 6 will also be 65 degree. Angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding angle, therefore they are congruent, therefore angle 3 value I have is 115, therefore measure of angle 7 is also 115. Here I can say that measure of angle 1 is equals to measure of angle 3 is equals to measure of angle 5 is equals to measure of angle 7, which is equals to 115, and measure of angle 2 is equals to measure of angle 4 is equals to measure of angle 6 is equals to measure of angle 8, which is equals to 65 degree. Thus we can say that if any of the angle is given, then we can easily find the remaining 7 angles. Now let's see in this figure. Here line AB is parallel to line CD, and line EF is a transversal intersecting two lines AB and CD at point P and Q respectively. Now let's see property of corresponding angles. Angle EPB is congruent to angle PQB. D. Angle BPQ is congruent to angle DQF. EPB is congruent to angle PQD. Second is angle BPQ is congruent to angle DQF. Third is angle EPA is congruent to angle PQC. And last angle is angle APQ is congruent to angle CQF. Now we can see that each pair of corresponding angles formed by two parallel lines and their transversal is a pair of congruent angles. Now let's see second, that is property of alternate angles. Same, two parallel lines are given and one transversal is given, which is intersecting at point P and Q respectively. Again, angle APQ is congruent to angle PQD, and angle BPQ is congruent to angle PQC, and these two are exterior angles, and here these two are again exterior angles. Let's write down the names. Each pair of alternate angles formed by two parallel lines are their transversal is a pair of a congruent angles. Interior angles are what? Angle APQ congruent to angle PQD, and angle BPQ is congruent to angle PQC. What are exterior alternate angles? Exterior alternate angles will be EPB congruent to CQF and angle EPA congruent to DQF or FQD. Let's see now property of interior angles. Here you can see each pair of interior angles formed by two parallel lines and their transversal is of supplementary angles, that is, it will be 180 degree. What is meant by interior angles? Interior means inside, and inside angles are P, Q. These four angles are inside the parallel lines, therefore they are called as interior angles. Now let's see. First is PBPQ plus DQP. If I add both these angles, these both are interior angles, and if I add these both interior angles, I will get answer 180 degree. Why I will get 180 degree? Because it is a universal statement that these angles, interior angles, will always be supplementary angles, and supplementary angles means that it will be always 180 degree. Similarly, you can see here angle APQ plus angle PQC is equals to 180 degree. Now let's take one example. That is, in the figure, line AB is parallel to line CD and line PQ is the transversal. If angle PMB is given 135 degree, then find angle BMN, means this angle, and angle DNM, means this angle, and angle AMN, means this angle, last is CNQ, means this angle. Let's start the solution. How you will start? Line AB is parallel to line CD and line PQ is their transversal. Therefore, angle PMB is congruent to angle what? DNM. Here I am skipping this angle and I will take this angle. Since it is 135, this will also be 135. Reason will come corresponding angles. Therefore, angle PMB is equals to 135 degree. Therefore, angle DNM will also be equals to 135 degree. Reason will be corresponding angles are always congruent. Now, therefore, angle BMN, where is angle BMN, and angle DNM is equals to 180 degree. Reason will come interior angles. Now, by substituting angle DNM is equals to 135, what I will get? Angle BMN plus, in the place of DNM I put 135 is equals to 180 degree. Therefore, angle BMN is equals to 180 minus 135 degree is equals to 45. Therefore, angle BMN is equals to 45 degree. You first got BMN value is 45 degree. Now, since I have got angle BMN is equals to 45 degree, now let's take another angle. Angle AMN is equals to, is congruent to angle AMN is congruent to angle DNM. Reason will come interior alternate angles. Since angle DNM is 135 degree, right? So I can say that angle AMN is also equals to 135 degree. Then angle PMB is congruent to angle CNQ, exterior angle. Therefore, measure of angle PMB is equals to measure of angle CNQ. That is, measure of angle PMB is equals to measure of angle CNQ is equals to 135 degree. Therefore, measure of angle CNQ is 135 degree. Now, we got angle DNM is equals to 135 degree, angle BMN is equals to 45 degree, angle AMN is equals to 135 degree, and angle CNQ is equals to 135 degree. So all the angles are fine.